Superstar's going to be on all of them today.
Pretty much.
That actually is the truth. We'll get to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in a second. But first, Nevada, San Diego State, Caleb Martin puts his man on a poster. Look at that.
Bunnies!
I like that. Nevada, you like
and he
them in the
stares him
tournament.
down.
I do like them in the I like Nevada in the tournament, but how about San Diego State beating Nevada, putting themselves back in the at-large bubble?
Stanford, Arizona State, Remy Martin. Nice between the legs pass. Daquan Lake, the slam.
Completely unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. Didn't create the opening for it.
It was pretty, though. Hey, it got them on first things first.
There you go. I guess it was
Mexico's Keith McGee goes up for the dunk. Look at this block by Utah State's Neemias Queta. Both hands.
Is he a 7-footer?
I don't know, but I love the look. I love the look.
Stare down.
Yeah.
Big time. Time now for in or out. Zion Williamson suffered a mild knee sprain after blowing out his shoe less than a minute into last night's loss to UNC. Freshman phenom is projected to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft. So, Chris, are you in or out on Zion shutting it down for the remainder of the season?
Look, if he's fine, there's no problems. He can play. But I'm in on him shutting it down if he's even remotely injured. If this is a 2-3 week thing that could keep him out of some of the March Madness, then fine. Just you've proved your point. I'm fine if he sits out.
Shutting it down usually signifies you're okay to play, but you choose to not do so to protect your draft stock, correct?
That's our understanding.
I mean, I'm kind of going with it as him being
because if he's hurt, like I'm not want anybody to play hurt.
But I'm saying if you can play, but you're not quite yourself and you're not jumping.
There's only like 6 weeks. The title game is like 6 weeks away. It's not like we're in the middle of December.
I don't know. Like, man, if you can play, you play. Like, this is your one shot. Like, we all know he's going to the league. Right? We all know he's going to be the #1 pick, you know, as long as there's not some catastrophic injury. And again, I'm assuming that he's healthy. And it felt like, in Mike Krzyzewski afterwards, it was, you know, maybe a little bit more of a freak out at first than him actually being hurt. And we're all stunned that the shoe, that looked like an LA Gear shoe, not a Nike Paul George shoe.
You're going to get a text from Nike. You're going to get a text from Nike.
No, I'm wearing Nikes right now.
LA Gear.
But there is no LA Gear. But if you're healthy, you play. You got one shot to win an ACC title and play for a Final Four national championship. That's what you went to do.
Moving on to Kawhi and the Raptors. Toronto is a favorite to win the East, even though they find themselves looking up at the Bucks in the standings. So, Chris, are you in or out on the Raptors representing the East?
Look, I think Toronto, Milwaukee, and Boston are all right there. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if any of those three win it, but I'm out on this. I got Milwaukee as the favorite. I know they're less proven in the playoffs than Toronto and Boston, but they got the best record, the best road record, the best point differential, arguably the best player. They shoot the three well. They can do it all. I'm going with Milwaukee.
All right, I would say
good coach too.
I think Toronto. You know, look, I played for Nick Nurse in the USBL. Yeah, I think he's a hell of a coach.
He's a good coach.
Agree.
And he did a really good job. He's kind of fought his way up. And obviously, he was the offensive coordinator last year. Look, I think they were very good last year, and they got better, right? That DeMar DeRozan is not as good a player as Kawhi Leonard at either end of the floor. Right. And then they added Danny Green, who is a great glue guy with championship pedigree as well.
There's a butt coming up.
One of the things that have been buried, no one's talked about on this show, and I watch it every day, and all the other shows, no one talked about, they floated Kyle Lowry out as trade bait right around the trade deadline. There was talk of them moving on from Kyle, and he hasn't been great in the playoffs.
No.
And they've had a bunch of injuries as well.
The second half, he started hot.
Yes.
And then he's kind of come back to earth.
Yeah, and he's kind of got one of those sneaky fat bodies too, right? Yeah. Where he's never really in great shape, but he's a great regular season player. So that's the only thing that sets me back.
That's fair.
But Siakam's coming into his own. Like those young guys from last year.
He's going to have to hit threes, though, in the postseason. He's going to have to be a little more consistent.
I'm in on them being the favorite. The only thing that stood in their way before was LeBron. LeBron's not there, and they got better with Kawhi Leonard.
Giannis may have a text for you. Moving on to Kyrie Irving, who seems fed up with all the free agent speculation. He said he doesn't want to talk about the viral video of him and KD at the All-Star game. But that doesn't mean that we can't. So, Doug, are you in or out on KD being the best superstar to pair up with Kyrie?
What are my choices? I'm in, and here's why. Because I'm led to believe that my only choice is LeBron James. And I'm also led to believe that he doesn't like things like that. You know, he doesn't.
What about Kyrie or AD being? I guess he's not a free agent.
Kawhi, Jimmy Butler, those are free agents as well.
Yeah, I don't think the Jimmy Butler thing would work. I'm not sure who Jimmy Butler works with. Like he's kind of a solo act that doesn't know he shouldn't just be a solo act, right? Like, he'll be playing at state fairs if he was a musician. I'm in on he and KD. I think it's a lot like Russell Westbrook and KD. I'm in on that. Has been the best possible duo.
I think KD can pretty much fit with anybody. I think his game, he can go ISO when he has to. He can carry an offense when he has to, but he can blend in, as you've seen in Golden State. He gets away from it at times, but for the most part, he can blend in because they both can make plays and they both can catch and shoot. So when Durant has the ball, Kyrie can catch and shoot and vice versa. So I think they're a great fit.
Ending with football, the Steelers won't use the transition tag on Le'Veon Bell. After hearing the news, Le'Veon tweeted, "Free at last." So, Chris, are you in or out on L. Bell being the best free agent available this offseason?
I'm out. I'm going to go with Jadeveon Clowney.
Dang it, you stole my notes!
I like Bell. I'm just, look, and I could argue that Le'Veon is the most talented free agent out there. I'm just scared off by the money. I'm sorry. In this day and age, I'm not giving a running back the type of money Le'Veon Bell wants. I'll give him some. I'll pay him.
Yep.
But he wants reportedly $50 million over his first 2 years. No can do.
Well, what was it Austin Powers said? I want a solid gold toilet, but it's just not in the cards, babe, right? Like, I think Le'Veon Bell's going to end up being the best free agent because I think ultimately Houston will probably franchise tag and work out a long-term deal. But if I can choose from Jadeveon Clowney, who can pressure the passer, who can get out in coverage, 185 pressures over the last 3 seasons. The only question was, could he stay healthy? And he's been healthy of late. I think Clowney's the better player in the more effective free agent, but I don't think he'll actually be a free agent. So I would actually hedge on that at the end of the day.
All right, coming up, should Zion shut it down and focus on the NBA? That's next on First Things First.